Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to teach you the essential elements on creating and manifesting anything that you want to come into your life, whether that's a new physique or that's a new relationship or a new career or just making more money to come into your life, manifesting more money to come into your life. You can do that if you follow these essentials. So if you're waking up in the morning and looking in the mirror and you're not happy with your physique, you're not happy with your appearance, these essential elements, you understand these essential elements, you can change this very simply by rearranging the structure of your mind and following the elements in this video. Same goes for relationships, for the love in your life, for your career, for the money. You want to make large amounts of money. You follow the essentials that I'm going to lay out for you in this video. From Neville Goddard's Power of Awareness, Chapter 19, Essentials. And you could even set out, if you want to, you could even set out to disprove me by applying what I'm teaching just to show yourself that what I'm saying is not true. And I will promise you that if you attempt to even disprove me, you will find that what I'm teaching and what Neville Goddard taught is the undeniable truth. It is the absolute truth that imagination creates reality. And if you set out to disprove me, that will ultimately help you. So I encourage you to do that, to try to disprove that imagination creates reality. And you cannot do it. And in your attempt to do it, you will soon find that it is the absolute truth. And just like my grandfather did when he tried to disprove Neville Goddard, he found that was actually how everything is created in your world. And then he took off from there, creating $250,000 in cash in a safety deposit box within 6 weeks after he found out the secret to manifest, which are these essentials that we're going to lay out in this video today. Okay, so Chapter 19, Essentials. The essential points in the successful use of the law of assumption are these. First, and above all, yearning, longing, intense, burning desire. So what he's talking about here is you must want to be something different. You must, like if you're waking up in the morning and you're looking at your physique and you're not happy with it, you don't look at yourself and you're not like, man, I really love the way that I look. I mean, wow, look how chiseled I am. I'm in a great shape, or I just love my appearance. If you're not saying that every single morning to yourself, then you can change that. You can, if you have this burning desire to change, that is the mainspring of action. That is the first element to start putting in the work to changing your mental arrangements. Because that, if you're looking in the mirror and you're not liking what you're seeing, then you have to rearrange the structure of your mind and start imagining and seeing a different version of yourself. So that is the first element here. Okay, so, and with all your heart, you must want to be different from that which you are. Okay, so intense, burning desire combined with intention to make good is the mainspring of action, the beginning of all successful ventures. In every great passion, desire is concentrated and attention, which achieves its objective. You must first desire and then intend to succeed. Okay, so once you discover something, like you're looking at your bank balance and you're not happy, you want to have 8-9 digit bank balance, but you're not seeing that. You're not happy with that. Practice these essentials, and you can get that by just imagining and changing your direction of your attention and rearranging your mind and understanding that your imagination can change that very simply by following these elements. And we're going to point out here where in the Bible where it was telling us this symbolically. As the hart panteth after the water brooks, so panteth my soul after thee, O God. Psalms 42:1. Blessed are they that hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Matthew 5:6. Blessed are they that hunger. Okay, so having that burning, intense desire to change, to transform yourself into a new version of yourself. That is when you're going to put in the work and the action and affirm and imagine and visualize and want to rearrange the structure of your mind, to want to change your current concept of self. And it's telling us this in the Bible, okay? Here, the soul is interpreted as a sum total of all you believe, think, feel, and accept as true. In other words, your present level of awareness, your God, I am, the power of awareness, the source and fulfillment of all desires. Understood psychologically, I am infinite in series of levels of awareness, and I am what I am according to where I am in that series, okay? This quotation describes how your present level of awareness longs to transcend itself. Right, it wants to transcend itself. You want to change, okay? You want this. If you're looking at yourself and you're not completely happy 100% of your life, then you are longing to transcend yourself into something new. Righteousness is the consciousness of already being what you want to be. So righteousness, right there. Righteousness is the consciousness of already being what you want to be. So here we're going to get into the second element. That is the first element is desire, a burning, intense desire to want to be something different than what you are right now, okay? Second, cultivate physical immobility, a physical incapacity, not unlike the state described in Keats in an ode to a nightingale, a drowsiness, numbness, pains my senses, and though of a hemlock I had drunk, okay? So a drowsy state. In this state, akin to sleep, you don't necessarily have to really struggle with this state, okay? If you're just going to sleep, if you're laying down going to sleep, just lay in a position that you normally wouldn't lay in if you're just going to go right to sleep. That way, you have a moment or a few moments, a couple minutes maybe, to imagine or visualize or affirm in your mind or even script, write some stuff down while you're in this state where you're getting into that, that state where you're about to go to sleep. Okay. So don't put too much attention on this part right here. Don't worry about that too much, about being in the state akin to sleep and worrying about that. Just get in this state where you're about to go to sleep and start imagining yourself as being the person that you want to be or having the things that you want to have. All right, but we're going to get into this further. But one in which you are still in control of the direction of your attention. So you're not going to be asleep. You're going to be, you're going to be very comfortable. You're going to be very in a relaxed state, okay? You must learn to induce this state at will, but experience has taught me that is more easily induced after a substantial meal. Like you feel that way, after you have a big meal where you want to just relax and lay down, and let the food settle. This is like that state of being comfortable and relaxed and loath to arise, like in the morning. He goes right here. When you awake in the morning feeling very loath to arise, like you wake up in the morning, you're still, half asleep, half awake. That is the state that he's talking about when you want to induce this new feeling state into the subconscious mind. That's the door to the subconscious lever. Okay. So that's where that's where all impressions are made into the subconscious mind, where the most powerful ones are made. Okay. So then you are naturally disposed to enter this state. The value of physical immobility shows itself in the accumulation of mental force, which absolute stillness brings with it. So when you're in this state, the subconscious mind is more susceptible to your feeling states. When you're in this, and you're more easily to induce a feeling of something that is not a reality in your current 3D world. When you can detach yourself from the 3D world and create a new feeling of the person that you want to be or the thing that you want to have as already having it. When you get into this state that he's talking about right here, where there's an accumulation of mental force, which absolute stillness brings with it, it increases your power of concentration, okay, and to disconnect yourself from the 3D world when you're in this drowsy state, and then you're imagining something that you want as already having it. That is the most powerful time, the most receptive time to impress the subconscious mind. That's why my meditations are very powerful, especially the ones that overlap. Those are actually designed for hypnosis, that are very strategically designed to hypnotize you and put you in a new feeling state. And at the end of this video, I will post that on the screen, the link to that playlist with all of my meditations that you can fall asleep with. I have over 30 different meditations that you can fall asleep with that are designed for this exact thing that Neville Goddard is talking about right here, about putting yourself in that position, in the state akin to sleep, as you're falling asleep, actually capturing a feeling state. All right, so be still and know that I am God. This is actually a mantra. This is actually the mantra that Neville Goddard used for his VIP students in the back of the Wilshire Ebell Theater. My grandfather told me about this. It's from Psalms 46:10. This is what they would chant actually during their meditations, or the beginning of their meditations. They would use "Be still and know that I am God." This is actually one of Neville Goddard's mantras that he used with his VIP students in the back of the Wilshire Ebell Theater. All right, so in fact, the greater energies of the mind seldom break forth except when the body is stilled and the door of the senses closed to the objective world. So you're disconnecting from the objective world basically when you're in this state, half asleep and half awake. Okay, so you're no longer connected to your objective world. You're now right in the center of the subjective world and the objective world. So that's where you can more easily accept a new idea of your new current or your new concept of self or a new feeling state, and disregarding your current life and creating a new feeling state of a new life right in the center of this, which my grandfather called the drift. And when you can capture that feeling state and then enter the subconscious realm with that feeling state, your life will be transformed into something new, whatever that feeling state was, where the subconscious mind is impressed. Okay, this is where Neville Goddard gets into the third element of creating anything and manifesting anything you want into your life. The third and the last thing to do is to experience in your imagination what you would experience in the reality had you achieved your desire. So once you have induced this state of being in the drift, being half asleep, half awake as you're going to sleep, then you imagine or experience in your imagination, either through affirmations or using sleep meditations, to induce this state as you're drifting into the subconscious realm, as you're falling asleep, getting into sats. So you're going to go into sats and you're going to go into the drift before you go to sleep every single time. You just aren't aware of it, that you're actually going into this state because you're half asleep and half awake, and then you go into that drift. You carry that feeling state into that drift, and then it will be created in your 3D world. Once it's impressed with a new feeling, you're in a different world. So the subconscious takes you to a different world that's a corresponding world to your new assumption, your new feeling state of already having these things. So then you're going to be shifted into a new reality. And sometimes this can happen even the very next day, where you'll start to see huge changes in your life almost immediately. And you'll think that it's so surreal, all the big changes that start happening in your life. You're going to be like, wow, how is this happening? This is so surreal that all these new things and these new doors and all these new chapters of this new books are opening in my life. And it's just crazy. This is how it works, guys. This is exactly how it works if you apply Neville Goddard's essential elements into creating a brand new life for yourself. Okay. And then Neville Goddard here goes on to further explain how this works. Okay. So you must gain it in imagination first. For imagination is the very door to the reality of that which you seek. But use imagination masterfully, and not as an onlooker thinking from the end, but as a partaker thinking from the end. We've gone over this, guys, and then when you're thinking logically, you're thinking as an onlooker. You're looking at it at a distance, and you're looking at it like it's a movie, like you're not really in the movie. You're actually looking and watching the movie. You need to be the actor in the movie when you're creating these imaginal acts, but it's not necessary to actually create this vivid scene. But if you want to create something specific, you can do this masterfully if you have that attention and you're able to visualize this well. But you can use affirmations. You can fall asleep to my meditations, and they will produce a very good effect in your life and changing your feeling states. And I think because feeling is the secret, that's what I have found over thousands of experiments that I've done, is that feeling is the absolute secret to creating a new life. And my meditations do that, affirmations do that, and visualizing do that, mentally rehearsing, scripting, all of that, having a new feeling state of already having something as you're going into this drift. But you can also do it like Neville Goddard says here, and creating the end, and thinking from it, and making a visual scene where you're actually in the movie playing it, because that puts you inside of it, and that creates a feeling state as if it's happening to you right now. Then you fall asleep as if it's happening to you right now. So the subconscious mind has no choice but to give it to you when you fall asleep with that feeling of already having something. All right, so here's where Neville Goddard carries on here. Imagine that you possess a quality or something you desire which hitherto has not been yours before. Surrender yourself completely to this feeling until your whole being is possessed by it. So you can do this with the meditations as you're falling asleep. You can just surrender yourself to this new feeling state. So with an effortless and using least action, by allowing my voice to impress you with a new feeling state and just allowing it to happen, but being present in that moment as you're drifting asleep, and allow those new thoughts to enter, those new feeling states to enter as you're listening to these meditations, okay? This state differs from reverie in this respect. Okay, so like a reverie, he's talking about here is like a daydream, okay? If you're imagining and you're creating an actual mentally rehearsing and visualizing a scene, like thinking from it and thinking of it, okay? So it's like a daydream if you're just thinking of something. You know, it's at a distance, it's not real to you, but when you create something with a controlled imagination, a controlled and steady, concentrated attention, then it becomes real to you and you're thinking from it, you're actually in it, and then it will be created and manifested in your world. Whereas a reverie or a daydream is just the result of an uncontrolled imagination. All right, so in the controlled state, a minimum of effort suffices to keep your consciousness filled with the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The physical and mental immobility of this state is a powerful aid to voluntary attention and a major factor of minimum effort. This is perfect, guys. This is for the meditations. I'm going to post that. I'm going to post that playlist right at the end. It's going to pop up for you. Click on that. Figure out which meditation specifically that you want to use to create wealth in your life, a new physique in your life, a new career in your life, a new relationship into your life. These meditations will absolutely do what he's talking about here. The physical and mental immobility of this state is a powerful aid to voluntary attention. So you focus your attention on the words that are being spoken to you during these meditations, and they will induce a new feeling state and control you and put you in a new state of being as you go into this drift that Neville Goddard is talking about, where he's found the keys to actually where you can manifest new things and actually create a brand new life and actually shift to corresponding worlds based on that feeling state that you're falling asleep with, okay? So let's go over this, all the 3 steps right here, the essential elements, one more time before we end this video. The application of these 3 points are: 1, desire. 1, guys, desire. You find out something that you want to change in your life, whatever aspect of your life that you're not happy with right now. You have to determine which one of those you want to change right now, because that's some of the work that you have to put in. You have to determine what you're not truly happy with right now and be real with yourself. You're looking in the mirror, you're not liking what you're seeing, then that is something to desire to change, okay? And then you get into this sleepy, drowsy state. You find this sleepy, drowsy state that's in between being conscious and being unconscious, and that's the subconscious lever that you're going to drift into with a new feeling state. So find physical immobility. You're lying down on a bed, or you're just getting comfortable, getting ready to go to sleep. Number 3, the assumption of the wish that is already fulfilled. So if it's your physique, or it's a new career, or more money, you find that feeling state, whether that's using the meditations, affirming, or actually mentally rehearsing something when you're in this state, when you're in this physical immobility, when you're in that state of being physically immobilized, laying and being in between being conscious and unconscious, you create a new feeling that it's already complete. And this is the way to at one-ment or union with your objective. So whatever you have your desire to change, this is what creates that at one-ment or union with your new feeling state of the new person that you want to be, the new thing that you want to have. And the first point is thinking of the end with intention to realize it. The third point is thinking from the end with the feeling of accomplishment or relief. Accomplishment or relief, not so much excitement, but the relief of it, that it's actually over now, that you already have it, okay? The secret of thinking from the end is to enjoy being it, The minute you make it pleasurable and imagine that you are it, you start thinking from it, okay? The minute you make it pleasurable and imagine that you are it, you start thinking from it. One of the most prevalent misunderstandings is that the law works only for those who have a devout or a religious objective. This is a fallacy. This is incorrect. It works just as impersonally as the law of electricity works. It can be used for greedy, selfish purposes as well as noble ones, but it should always be borne in mind that ignoble thoughts or selfish thoughts and actions inevitably result in unhappy consequences. So always remember that when you're using the law of assumption and imagining things, make sure you don't use them for selfish, ignoble reasons, because that inevitably will come back to you and create an unhappy life, because there's no point in being rich or successful if you're not happy. Okay, so do not use this for these selfish reasons, because that's inevitably what will happen. Into this video, but I'm going to post my playlist right here on the screen right now, so click on that. I have over 30 different meditations to assist you in creating a new feeling state as you're drifting asleep, as you're impressing the subconscious mind. So click on that playlist, find the one that's specific to your desire, and use that as you're falling asleep. All right, guys, I love you guys very much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.